Hey everyone, my name is Jamie Leigh. Welcome back to my channel and thank you so much for watching this video today. Now today we have a video a little bit different than a lot of the ones that I've done in the past. We have a brand that is new to the channel, which is kind of crazy, and that is the Gap. This is a little bit funny to me because I constantly talk about Old Navy on here. I've tried many of their pieces. In every single season, I always check the Old Navy website. I always end up buying a few things. The Gap, if you didn't know this, is Old Navy's sister store along with Banana Republic, so you can actually shop from all three. You have one login to all three stores. I think Athleta or Athleta, I'm not sure how you pronounce that, is also included now. And while I always shop at Old Navy, the Gap I find to be very, very hit or miss with things that I am interested in buying. While Old Navy tends to have a lot more like trendy pieces, obviously Old Navy also just has more selection usually. The Gap tends to have like higher quality staples. So as an example, like I've bought really great t-shirts from the Gap. I know for my wedding, which was like a destination wedding, my husband's outfit was from the Gap. That's where we went and got shorts and stuff. They were great. I believe he still has them. So it's definitely a brand that I have shopped at before, but it's not somewhere I go to often. And I think the biggest reason for that is the price tag. So today specifically, I have some linen pieces to try, full linen outfit. I have some denim shorts. I have this dress, and this was like $400. Very, very expensive compared to something like Old Navy. So I guess my biggest question today really is, are these pieces worth the money? Is it worth the extra cost of going to the Gap versus somewhere like an Old Navy, especially because they do tend to have a lot of very similar things? Now, I also tend to see the Gap as made for people who are maybe slightly older than Old Navy. I think Old Navy is like approachable to everyone and they have lines that anybody would like, but the Gap tends to be skewing a little bit older. I am 31. I'm definitely not super young. I think that the pieces at the Gap are fine for me, but maybe 10 years ago, I probably wouldn't have liked them as much. Also today, one thing I specifically want to compare like apples to apples on is the linen pants at Old Navy versus the Gap. I've seen a couple people ask questions about this in my Old Navy linen review video. So we'll see, is there a difference? Is it worth the increased price? We'll take a look at everything. Like always, I'll let you know what I think about them and hopefully I can help you decide if you want to pick anything up or not. Now, like always, I will include each piece that I'm wearing in this video in the order that I'm wearing it, the name, what size I got, what color I got, and a link to it. So if you need any of that information, it will all be down in the description box. And like always, if you have any questions as we go through at the end, leave them down in the comments section. I'm really, really happy to answer them. First off, today we have this drop waist maxi dress. Now, the reason I wanted to get a dress specifically is because the dresses at the Gap are so much more expensive than dresses at Old Navy. For the record, this dress regular price, which I did not pay regular price, is $128 Canadian. Just as an example, obviously this dress is not the same style, it's not the same materials, but this is a dress that I just bought from Old Navy for an upcoming Old Navy video. This one is $44 regular price, and I got it for 50% off because everything was 50% off. Now, I believe I got this one for around $100. That's still very expensive for a simple little dress. However, there are definitely some things about this dress that make it feel much more premium than any dress that I've ever received from Old Navy. So this dress is a 55% linen, 45% viscose. I think for the price it should be fully 100% linen. I don't understand why you would have viscose in it at all, especially at the $128 price range. This is obviously a full-length dress. It definitely feels like linen. It has that ever so slightly scratchy quality that only linen can have, but still feels very light and airy and breathable. You can see on me it is almost completely to the floor. That's just because I'm only 5'1". I got a size medium in this. I think that it fits well. I like the shape of this dress, and I think that this is something where when you compare a dress like this to something from Old Navy, a lot of pieces from Old Navy do not have any shape to them. This dress, as you can see, I have it backwards, but this is pretty shapeless. It's pretty much straight up and down on a hanger. It's relying on the fact that there's smocking here to hug to your body and give you shape. This one does have a tiny bit of smocking at the back, but that's not what's providing the actual shape of the dress. It is cut to cinch in at the waist and cinch out at the hips, which does always look a little bit more flattering in my opinion. Now this dress, once again, it has that little bit of smocking, but to get it on and off, it does have a zipper all the way down on the side. It comes down quite low past the hips, and it also has a little clasp at the top of that zipper to help keep it closed so it's easier to zip up. And then obviously they're calling this a drop waist dress. You can see that it has the V kind of dropping down in the center there. I think that waist shape always looks really, really good. I think it looks super feminine, very pretty. This dress does have super deep pockets. It has adjustable straps, and these straps are very thin, very, very thin. So I am not wearing a bra under here. I'm just wearing some pasties. However, there's no support of any kind. Things are just sitting where they sit, and I would not be able to wear a bra under this. Like even most strapless bras that I have would be showing at the sides here, I think, because it's a little bit low. So I would say this is probably a no bra sort of dress. But in general, I do think that it looks very cute, so I might be willing to go no bra with it. Now just coming up closer so that you can see the pattern on this, obviously it has this pale blue and white stripes. I think that that is very, very cute for springtime. I'm imagining this with like a little denim jacket or a white jacket over top. Also for the commenter that said that trying on dresses with socks on makes me look like a tuna, you're welcome. I took the socks off today. And in general, I like this dress. I think that it is well made. I think it looks really good on. I love the shape that it's giving me, but do we think it's worth $100 is what I paid? Especially, do we think it's worth $128 the full price? Definitely no to the full price. The Gap always has at least 20% off. Never pay full price for anything. I'm not sure if it's worth $100 to me. I have had other like very cute little dresses, such as this one from Aerie that was half the price, that I think looks just as cute. But definitely let me know what you think. And this is one of those situations where I think it's just going to depend on if you love the item or not. Because there have definitely been things from the Gap that I absolutely love that I'm like, it's worth the extra money to me. And there are things where it's not. And this one I would say is right on the ledge. Like I really like it. I think I look great in it, but is it worth $100? You let me know what you think and let's move on. Next up, I wanted to take a much closer look at the Gap linen. Once again, I've tried a bunch of different linen pieces from Old Navy at this point. I've got some of the pants here and we will literally try these on after just to do a comparison of how they feel and how they look on. But I can tell you immediately off the bat, these do not feel comparable in any way. These feel super, super thin. Paper thin. You can see it's a very thin fabric. These are thick. They feel really sturdy. Whereas these, I think, are going to wear out between the legs pretty quick. I think these ones would take much longer because it is a much heavier linen. Now, something interesting, despite how different they feel, the fabric makeup is exactly the same. They're both 55% linen, 45% rayon. Very, very interesting. I think that these are just a thicker fabric. Now, because this is such a thicker feeling fabric, a heavier weight fabric, these definitely feel softer. These have more of that stereotypical linen scratch that I was talking about before, where they're ever so slightly itchy feeling, in particular when you're walking, when your legs are rubbing against it. It's not unbearable or super uncomfortable, but I will say I'm very sensitive to fabrics, so that might not even be something that bothers you. Now, specifically, these are the Linen Blend Easy Barrel pants. I've never tried anything with this like silhouette before, so I thought, you know what, why not? We'll give it a try. And you can really see that barrel when I'm standing like straight legs together, because it definitely comes out and right back in at the bottom. Almost makes me look like I have bow legs, which is interesting. I definitely don't. Now, these do have nice deep pockets. I got the size large petite in these because I feel like there's nothing worse than linen that's really tight. The petite length length is good. I think that this is the length that I would want these at. Now the size large is ever so slightly loose, but not loose enough that they're going to like fall off or anything. I feel like it looks pretty good. It's fitting nicely. I think with this style in particular, it's just a matter of, do you like that barrel? They did also have like straight leg or wide leg ones. I had just never tried this style of pant before, so I figured this might be a good time to give it a try. Now, once again, while we're talking about pricing, these pants are regularly $108. I believe the linen pants from Old Navy were closer to like a $45 to $50 regular price. I do think $108 for some like kind of scratchy linen pants is probably never going to be my favorite to spend my money on. But what do we think? And keep in mind, these were available in other colors as well. I got the black just because I was gonna pair them with this gingham top. We all know I'm obsessed with gingham, but definitely let me know, how do you like these and do you think that they're worth $108? Once again, we'll try on the Old Navy ones super quickly just to do a real comparison on how they feel. But first, this little linen gingham top. I feel like this is super cute, but I think I'm biased by the gingham. I think if I were going to wear this, I would need a minimizer bra. You can see, because my boobs like stick out to here, the shirt is just sticking straight out instead of being like more chill against my body. So if you have bigger boobs, you'll probably want a minimizer if you're going to wear this. It's funny because this top feels significantly softer than the pants do to me. Like they don't have that scratch factor. And this is 55% linen, 45% viscose. So that is very interesting to me. Once again, I'm just flabbergasted that we're not using 100% linen for our linen pieces, especially if you're gonna charge $100. Like it just doesn't make any sense to me. At the back of this top, you can see there are some buttons. I feel like that's cute. And once again, I really like the gingham. I don't know if this like kind of boxier shirt style suits me particularly well because once again, I have a larger chest. I'm fairly curvy and this is definitely hiding that, which I don't mind, but I don't know if I love it, if that makes sense. Like always, let me know what you think. Do we like the gingham? Do we like the little black pants? I think if I were going to actually wear this as an outfit, I would wear some like little red flats, maybe even do a red lip. I think that that could be very cute and like that's what I was envisioning when I purchased this. But do we like it? Is it worth keeping it? So super quickly, this is what the Old Navy linen pants look like. I would say they're definitely significantly less structured. So if you like a more structured pant style and like a thicker pant, you'll probably like the Gap ones a lot better. I feel like after trying those ones on, these ones almost look like a little, I'm gonna say sloppy, and I don't necessarily mean that in a bad way. A little too casual, a little too lived in. However, in terms of comfort, these are some of the most comfortable pants that you will ever put on. Super stretchy, really soft, very breathable feeling, super lightweight, so I think they'd be perfect for the summer. Versus these ones were not nearly as comfortable to wear, and I attribute that to them being a little bit scratchy. As I said, I still think that they are cute. I actually think that the barrel part of them was quite adorable as well, and like that's pretty unique and not something that I'm seeing at Old Navy. But ultimately, I think I would rather stick with some of these linen pants from Old Navy at half the price. I think I'll be much comfier wearing them than I would be in this, especially because I'm very sensitive to like scratchy textures. But definitely let me know which of the two did you like better and why. Then last but certainly not least, I did also get a pair of their denim easy boxer style shorts. And I'll be honest, I don't know how I feel about these at all. Now, these are supposed to be like a super easy, super comfy pull-on denim short. If you've watched this channel for any length of time, you know that denim shorts are probably one of the things I struggle most with because I've got a big bum. I've got very wide hips for my size and for my height. I've got wide, very like muscular thighs. Shorts in general have always been a bit tricky for me, but especially denim shorts, like they just never fit right. So these promise to be like a roomier, relaxed fit. They have an elasticized waist, which means that hopefully they'll actually fit at the waist. But I just think that they look a little bit awkward. Now, something that's a problem with like every pair of shorts if you have big thighs is as you walk for a couple of minutes, they just end up like pulling up in the middle. I can tell immediately that you will have that problem in these. So if that's something you don't like, don't bother getting these shorts because that will absolutely happen. I think that the way that these sit is just a little bit awkward. And once again, this might just be because I have wide hips, but it feels like they are like really into my hip dips and then flaring out underneath them, which I think looks odd. Like it's just an odd shape for my body. Don't necessarily love that. They do have pockets. The pockets are quite small, but it's shorts. Like I think that's to be expected. These don't have a button or anything. They have an elastic waistband. I got a size large in these specifically so that they would not be too tight across the butt. I still think that they are probably slightly too tight across the bum and hips. I'm getting this weird pulling here. Once again, it looks weird in the hip dips. It doesn't actually look tight on the bum at all, which is what's I think throwing me off more than anything. They don't feel tight at all. I think they just look awkward. They're not my favorite. I'm having difficulty articulating why. I just don't love how they look on me, which is odd because I feel like a slightly more oversized short is what I've been gravitating towards all year so far, but mostly like linen shorts or flowy shorts. And in the denim boxer style short, I think it's just not for me. And with that, those are all the different things I got from the Gap this time. Technically, that's a lie. I also bought these underwear for my husband, regularly like 50 something dollars. I got them on quite a good sale. I thought that they were very, very cute, especially the little flower pattern one. But all three of those, adorable. Now, is it better quality underwear than Old Navy? I don't think so. It looked very similar to me. I think it's nice that the waistbands match the color of the underwear. I think that that's nice. But do men care about that? Mine doesn't. I don't think. So if it wasn't on sale, I probably wouldn't have gotten it. And I think that's my overall opinion of the Gap. Like, are there some finishes and touches that are nicer than the pieces from Old Navy? Are the cuts a little bit better? Yes, I think that they are. The cut on those linen bottoms, it definitely looked a lot more polished, a lot more finished, less sloppy, as I said before. The dress, obviously, with that nice deep zipper, it's just cut in a way that looks a lot more flattering on a woman's body. So there are definitely things that I think are probably worth paying more money at the Gap. I think that dress is likely one of them, but I do think that they also still have a lot of like mass manufactured, just like not that good clothing, which is something that I get on Old Navy about this as well. Like some of their pieces are so good, so comfy, I love them, and some of them are just not that good, not that cute, they don't fit the best, and I think that these shorts are a great testament to that. So with that, like always, let me know your opinions. If you have tried anything from the Gap that you absolutely love, or if it's a place that you shop all the time, let me know, like, what are the sorts of things that you're picking up that you feel like, yes, I can absolutely justify this price. I know, of course, they do also have friends and family events at the Gap where you can save like a ton of money and get like stackable codes. Sometimes you can get stuff for like 80 or 90% off. I think that would be worth it, especially to get some of their basics, like their t-shirts, their undies. I know that they have good stuff. It's just a matter of, is it in the budget or not? And like always, thank you so much for watching this video today. I hope that you have a fabulous week and that I'll see you next time. Bye!